Wednesday morning, Frank Wilson and Bobby Petrino were both on the SEC Coaches Teleconference. Yes, LSU is going to play a football game. I asked Frank Wilson about Michael Van Buren and Redshirt possibilities. They're going to play Michael Van Buren. We led the show today talking about Van Buren and the possibility of redshirting, which is something I hadn't really considered until someone asked me about it this morning. And I do think it is. I think it's the prudent thing to do. I wouldn't burn a year of eligibility for Van Buren to play a backup role for the final 3 games in a lost season. I'd rather preserve that year of eligibility, but it sounds like they're going to play him. I did ask Frank not only about Van Buren, but other players that they might be considering who might sort of have a redshirt decision to make. Remember, a year ago, that was West Weeks. This year, Jordan Gilbert is going to preserve his redshirt to have another year of eligibility. But here was Frank. He didn't mention anyone by name, but kind of talked about what they're looking at.
For us, the responsibility and the want to of our players, if they can go into a game and contribute in a major way for us to have an opportunity to win that game, they would like to, and we would like them to be in position to do so. We have some guys or a guy or two that may have played 2 snaps on a field goal or field goal block unit. In those cases, consideration and recommendation of protecting their red shirt is something that's under consideration. It's certainly something that we would certainly be open to. A guy that is playing 30 snaps on offense, defense, or special teams, we still got a lot of season. We got 3 games and a bowl game on the horizon, and so we would like to be able to move forward and use those contributions to help us win these games.
Some of those guys to keep an eye on, like, for example, Jace Thomas has played in 3 games on special teams. You play him in another one, but if he's not playing defensive snaps, do you want to burn a year just to have him play? I mean, he's played 16 special team snaps on the season over 3 games. Now, I had a block punt for a safety against Texas A&M, but that's one where you have to consider. If he's going to take on a bigger role defensively as a safety, which doesn't seem like he will, makes sense, but otherwise, preserve that year. Jace Thomas was one. Aiden Anding is another. Aiden Anding has played in just 1 game on the defensive side. But you look at special teams, it's a different story with a lot of these guys. Aiden Anding has played already in 4 games on special teams. So are you going to run Aiden Anding out there in the next 3 games to play on special teams units? He's played 31 snaps on the season on special teams. And the other is Zion Williams. Zion Williams has played in 4 games, 15 snaps, all on special teams. So those are the 3 guys I would tell you need to keep an eye on. Jace Thomas, Zion Williams, Aiden Anding, that have all just played limited special team snaps. And it's like if they were going to have a bigger role defensively in these final 4 games, or the final 3 games, okay. But otherwise, it would probably benefit you not to play them and preserve that year. And, we were talking earlier about, specifically about Van Buren, and someone on Twitter mentioned and replied and said, in this era, there's no sense in redshirting a player. I couldn't disagree more, because this is an era now where your value, like your monetary value as a player, is never greater than it is in your 4th or 5th year. Because what you're seeing, the way teams are building programs now, is they're investing in the older players via the portal instead of in the high school players. I mean, just look at the numbers. Right? I mean, LSU right now has 16 high school players committed in this class. Like, we're not that far removed from the hard cap of 25 where teams would backfill and oversign to 30. I mean, you're at like half that number right now. And you may add some more, but the point is, like, that's just not how teams are building their rosters anymore. You're not investing in 18-year-olds that are going to take time to grow and develop and mature within your program. And hell, they could leave in a year or 2 before they ever see the field for you. So where you're really making the investment is in the older players who have experience, who are plug-and-play veteran players. You'd rather a dude with 3 years experience at a Power 4 than an 18-year-old freshman, unless it's a really special young guy like DJ Pickett. So I guess all that to say, yeah, I mean, of course there's value for the player in wanting to redshirt because you're also having guys make the decision to stay in school a fourth or a fifth year because they can make more money, continue to improve their draft stock. And while they're not necessarily going to make a ton more money going from a UDFA to a fourth-round pick or a day 3 pick to a mid-day 2 pick, you're much more likely to make a team and stick around if a team's invested that draft capital in you. So all that to say, yeah, it makes a lot of sense why guys would want a redshirt. That part of it is flipped in this era. So, a couple of guys worth keeping an eye on there. The other updates from Frank were injury updates on Whit Weeks and Aaron Anderson. Play Aaron Anderson first. Remember he had the elbow against Alabama. Here's what Frank said.
Aaron is up and moving about. He'll be in a limited capacity, but moving around. He moved around well yesterday. We'll look at him again today, but I think he'll be ready to go for Saturday.
That's good news. Sounds like you'll have Aaron Anderson. Again, he injured his elbow, returned with that big brace on his elbow, and then it re-injured it, landed on it again later, and was taken out for the remainder of the game. And the other one, obviously, is the weekly Whit Weeks update, which we'll wait for the official availability report. But here was Frank Wednesday morning.
Whit was at practice yesterday. He moved around. He'll move around again today, and we'll see. We'll see how he holds up. Today is our Grit Wednesday, so it's a little more taxing than earlier in the week. It'll be a lot less going at Thursday and Friday preparation. So today's a pivotal day for him in his practice to see how his body holds up.
By the way, so there was a follow-up, which was Wilson Alexander asked to follow up, which was more specific about, like, okay, you said he's moving around in practice. What actually is he doing?
Practicing with the team, spot practicing, no boot, in attire, moving about, transitioning, but not what on yesterday, not what body weight against him. He'll get that today to see how he sustains and move with actual weight against him.
That's it. So that's interesting, right? Like, he's there in uniform, he's going through drills, but he's not having contact and having guys lean on him, basically. So he'll experience that today, see how he does, and he'll issue the official availability report here on Wednesday night. We'll get an update on Whit. It would be great to have Whit out there, man. We've talked about it plenty, but your worst defensive performances have come against teams with rushing quarterbacks. Ole Miss with Trey'Dez Chambliss, Vanderbilt with Diego Pavia, Marcel Reed at Texas A&M. Well, you got maybe the most dangerous one of them all this weekend with Taylor. You would love to have Whit Weeks available. Just period, point blank. Well, guess we'll find out as we get closer. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.